Parkin, 500 games as a coach today through 2 stints at Carlton. In between there was Fitzroy and before that Hawthorn. Well done, David Parkin, one of the legends. Pretty hard to coach 500 games. Aaron Fiora here today, number 14 for the Tigers, is making his debut. Now fancy this, your first game, you're in front of 70,000 people and you've had to wait until Monday. Probably he's known it for a week that he was playing. On the boundary line, here's Couchy.
Yeah, Drew, it's a fantastic atmosphere down here. 70,000, a real blockbuster. The weather's fine, bit overcast. Ground's in great order, no wind. Thanks, Drew.
And with us in commentary this afternoon, Jim Steins, and we'll hear from Jim in a moment. The umpire about to get underway. Craig Bradley won the toss and the Blues are going left to right in the first quarter. Franchino starting on the ball as he did last week with Ratton out of the centre square. Bit of a scrap midfield, and the Tigers have been good in that area. Gale gets the ball out, and Bowden kicks it up long inside the 50. Front and square was Daffy, but he couldn't gather cleanly. Chance for Dragicevic. He's Dragicevic off the ball. Comes down to Kuda. Well played, Kuda. Spinning ball up towards half forward. Burke, number 30, the punch from behind. A juggle, and the mark paid. Cotton. Ball knocked down. Inside 50, Carlton. But Bowden pulls them up again. Comes wide. Kellaway goes back. Chaffee round the corner. Up towards centre wing. McKay in front. Couldn't quite come down with the mark. Franchina is there. Heldwin not in possession, the Richmond player. And it'll be a Tigers free kick to Sampson.
He's on centre wing. Former premiership player with the Adelaide Crows. Kicks the ball back towards the half-forward line. Taken away by Bradley. Just the general to Allen. Pumps the ball back towards centre half forward, and there's the long arms of David Burke. So strong overhead to Bowden. A runner from half back. A touch of arrogance. Finally run down by Hamill. Kicks the ball to the half forward line. Taken by Kuda, who drills it back to Hamill. He wanted to play on. He needed support. Knight's on the mark. To the half forward line. A dive that time. Was by Camperelli. He's got King picking him up. Back will go short and finds Whitnell.
Drew, take over the commentary too.
And he comes in short and right in front. The mark taken out in front of goal by Hickmott, and this should be the first score. Good afternoon, Jim. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Drew. Yeah, what a terrific day for a great game of football. You know, great day, Easter Monday, but here you go. Whitnell was such a great asset to the Carlton Footy Club. Had a great game last week and the week before. I think he took something like 13 marks, and they're really a key in the Carlton attack. But him and Hamill today really should stand up if they're going to win.
Oh, and Hickmott misses. That should have been an absolute certainty. And you wonder whether the leading goal kicker for the club for the year should have had the shot. He gave Hickmott the better position, and he missed it.
Carlton bench, Brendan Favola, Darren Hume, Simon Beaumont, Simon Fletcher.
That was a shocking miss. No doubt that Lance Whitnell has been such a devastating player from up forward. He's booted 20 goals for the season. He just runs all over the forward line. He's got amazing stamina. So Kellaway backtracks, gives it across to Bowden, comes away and kicks back towards centre wing. Here's Burke. Just couldn't quite take it down near the ankles. Bundled off the ball. Franchina, the tackler, tough in close. Dragicevic over the top, along with Freeborn. Callaway's there also for the Tigers. And a ball up on the edge of the centre square. So a wasted early opportunity by the Blues.
Richmond bench, first game of Aaron Fiora, Ben Holland, Paul Broderick and Greg Tivendale.
And Fiora from Port Adelaide, taken third in the draft by the Tigers. Lappin tried to squeeze out the handball. Good strong play. The Blues continue to come forward. They look fairly sharp. Allen, a dangerous kick here for the Tigers, but Tawney getting back. He's got the job playing on Craig Bradley. He's had a couple of tough assignments this year, and he's done them well. He goes short, finds King.
Well, the way Bradley's been going, I suppose if Tawney keeps him down to about 25, he's done a great job.
Well, they've got King on Camperelli and Tawney on Bradley.
Juggled out here, chance for Manton. The ball over the boundary line. Umpire calls for the throw-in. We saw the umpires. There was a late change. Hayden Kennedy not able to take his place today, replaced by Derek Humphreys-Smith.
A couple of other matchups. We got Silvani on Ottens, full forward, and also Allen and Gale in the ruck.
Cotton gets the ball down. Hickmott, Hamill. Great tackle by Kellaway. Kellaway wants the free and gets it. Andy Kellaway, a vice-like grip. Hilton working upstairs, but Kellaway with pure strength got rid of Hamill, who was built like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Kick by Kellaway, half back, just short of half forward. Magnificent mark by Harrison. Talk about a contested mark. Koutafidis was in that and didn't get a look in. Inside to Biddiscombe. Kick knocked down. Just 1 point so far, and we've been playing 5 minutes. An umpire comes in and is going to ball it up. This is Mark McKenzie, number 24. Sun starting to break out. Danny Frawley in his first season as a coach, just his 7th game. The man in the other coaching box, David Parkin, 500.
Kellaway has got the job also on Ratton. Freeborn comes away, edge of the centre square, goes short. Hamill just couldn't take a fingertip mark. Wild handball. Chaffee got rid of it quickly to Knights. Loves the set-up play. Kicks to space. He's looking for Daffy. In front of Nelson. Good body work, strength. Nelson, young man from Sturt, comes away, kicks back towards centre half forward. Hamill playing in front, dragged down by Kellaway. They need Crummers, numbers around the ball. The Tigers will close quickly. Hickmott wants a free. Chaffee at the bottom of the pack.
Kevin, if you look at their performances in the last couple of weeks, Richmond really on top in the small man department, winning 31 to 14 clearances from ball ups and boundary throw-ins. So it's a real area they got to really get on top of Carlton today if they want to win.
Well, the midfield will be so important because that's the strength of the Blues. Here's Chaffee marking in front of Backwell. They want 50.
Particularly when you look at the number of possessions Bradley and Campriali and Ratton got last week.
Well, the mark to Koutafidis, there was a push out. It wasn't paid to Harrison. Kicks the ball wide. Allen cruising around the half-forward line. Whitnell's on a lead. That's been ignored. The kick's a shocker. Poor one dropping short. Been taken by Gaspar.
Gale going with Allen, and Allen has drifted forward. And David Burke actually contested the last ball up. Gaspar goes wide to the southern stand wing. Beautiful bounce for Tawney. Runs away from Bradley. Inside the 50. Bit of a push by Silvani. Play on. Rice is there for the Blues. Into Koutafidis. Round the boundary line he goes. Nelson nearly out of bounds when he had that kick, and it was a disappointing kick. Luckily falls to McKay. Over centre wing. Hickmott, terrific mark. Plays on, open forward line, but the kick too long for Whitnell. Gaspar dashes back. He's got Knights in support. Goes the boundary line side. Kellaway couldn't quite drag it down. Burke, he's lost it. Pressure from both sides. Well, if there wasn't a point on the board, I'd reckon this might be a scoreless draw the way this has started.
Well, there was definitely a free kick there. David Burke pulled the ball in underneath. No attempt here to get rid of the ball. You can see David Burke very, very happy. Tackled over the top also by Hamill. Hickmott has the kick smothered off the boot, taken away by Allen, goes short to the pocket. Houghton tries to take a one-hander, can't keep the ball alive. Boundary throwing some 35 metres round from the Blues goal. Here's Hickmott. What a great smother there. It's coming across in front.
A great desperation for both teams, really putting pressure on each other.
High ball, sitting back, building the wall is Hickmott. Some rebound football to McKay, quickly inside 50. Franchina. Well, he's got the job playing on Matthew Knights. He's going to play across half-back just to see if he can be a playmaker. Franchina has got a number of top scalps to his name. He's a very dogged player. It'll be a very important duel between Franchina and Knights, and not often is Matthew Knights outmarked by someone around about his same size.
Yeah, KB, Franchina's got a great upper body strength.
Well, he showed it then, didn't he?
Yeah, up against Knights. Knights hasn't got the great body strength.
And kept his eyes on the ball and pops it through. First goal of the day.
A great start for Franchina. Last week he had a really big job as well on Burgoyne and Kingsley and took both of them out of the game early. And again, they've started him in the centre. But now, if you look at the play here, Carlton just getting it on quickly. McKay just getting the ball out, as we say the fat side, opening up in that forward 50 and giving Franchina a really good opportunity of taking that mark. This is the sort of start that Carlton have been looking for. 7 points to no score.
Well, the opening goal took 9 minutes. Carlton 1-1, Richmond yet to score. Allen beats Gale in the middle, but it comes to Daffy. Had it a fair while. Goes to ground. Eventually spills out. Bowden the hand pass to Dragicevic. To the 50-metre line. Harrison, number 20, with Koutafidis. Koutafidis back to the scene of his starring role in the preliminary final last year. One of the Blues' rare recent wins at the MCG. Dragicevic marks and centres. Ottens.
See, that was a very good mark, Drew. He led early in front of Silvani. Gave Silvani no chance, Jim, at punching the ball away.
Yeah, definitely. And the height of him, like the guy is about 6'7". As you'll see here, just Silvani just gave him that metre. He caught up, but I'm a bit surprised Silvani didn't even try and contest it.
Well, I got a feeling he just jumped a fraction early for Stephen Silvani.
But this guy really is a key. They don't have a very tall forward line. They've got Harrison on Koutafidis, and already Koutafidis has got a lot of possessions. But as you see there, his kick from defence was very poor, and it was intercepted by Richmond.
Brad Ottens from 45 metres. No. Disappointing.
Yeah, costly. You just got to put scoreboard pressure on your opposition, particularly now they've only been in the forward 50 a couple of times.
Just saw young Hume on the bench for the Blues. That was a rare miss for Brad Ottens. He's kicked 14 goals, 2 for the season. So he's an absolute dead-eyed Dick Hickmott. A big game player, particularly here at the G, Freeborn. Tackled by Knights. They'll pay advantage. Dragicevic picking up some handy possessions. Goes short. It's a good kick. Finds Daffy. He's on 50. Coming off a good game against Sydney Swans. When he's in form, he's a very dangerous player. There's some chance to kick this. Nick Daffy. He'll be shooting from right on 50. Pushed it wide. It's a chance for the high flyers. The big fist away that time came from Allen. The Crummers, Rogers. Desperate play by Rice, hands and knees. Fired the ball out to Silvani. Quick snap by the Tigers by Sampson. Through for a minor score.
I've got to say, it's really good to see today where both teams are playing accountable football. Like they're not letting Richmond letting Campriali and Bradley just have a free roam, and vice versa. Like Nelson's picked up Daffy, which is, you know, just stopping some of their own ballers, and Knight's being picked up.
Well, we've been playing 12 minutes, and Campriali's about to come up for his first touch, and Bradley's only had one. And last week, they were 45 and something like 41, respectively.
110 with Ratner, if you put him in there, half of Port Adelaide's total possessions.
Kick by Campriali, short of the wing. Chaffee the hand pass to King, floats one over the top. Tawney. Oh, at full stretch, Rice might have interfered. He has. He's given up the free. And Joel Bowden's had a magnificent start to the game. He's coming up for his 7th possession.
And if we look at Tawney, he's also had 6 possessions. Doing a great job on Bradley.
Joel Bowden is a beautiful long kick. This won't test him for length, just accuracy.
And Rice there just going for the arms and the body rather than going for the footy.
Tigers looking for their first goal. Bowden only about 30 metres out, and he's missed it.
That's 2 poor misses. Like, you don't mind if you just grazed the post maybe from there, but that was a bit of a shocker.
Didn't even spin, Jim.
No.
It was a floater.
That's the sort of
4
thing.
points.
That can become like a little virus in your team if you start missing a lot of goals early.
Here's Hickmott. He's had a good first term. That's his 4th mark. He's had 6 possessions to Bradley. Pumps the ball inside 50. Whitnall will play in front, over the top. Callaway. Good teamwork. Hottens just couldn't quite find a target. So close to the line. Beats Knights over. And there's his shadow, Anthony Franchina. The first goal of the game, Simon Beaumont. Just roaming the boundary line, itching to get into the action. Gale and Allen. Give the points to Allen, to Bradley. The oldest man in the game. Needing a good bounce, Bitterscombe. He's been averaging 7 marks a game. It's a surprising statistic. Burke goes down, they'll pile on top. He'll take the free kick.
So, yeah, I reckon
He may have hurt himself here, David Burke.
Is that a bit of a half of a trip?
Yeah, just stuck his leg out. Oh, that'll be a sore. But I got a nice corky there on just above the knee.
Well, let's hope that it's nothing major with that knee. He's been a player who's had 3 shoulder reconstructions. He's had a number of injuries. He's a lightly built player. He's coming off and still in pain.
A bit awkward from Hamill.
I think it's more than half of it.
Ben Holland about to come on for the Tigers. Callaway belts the ball back towards the half-forward line. It's a big pack of players. Came off the chest of McKay, then slaps the ball on Franchina. Quick hands to Koutafidis. Looks pretty sharp in this first quarter. Good kick. It was a poor handball to Hamill. Put Ratton under a lot of pressure. Hickmott's been a winner across the half-forward line. Backwell needs a kind bounce, gets it 45 metres out. Around the corner. Camporelli's going to mark and kick a goal.
He's a lovely player, that Backwell. Just came out, he had about 5 metres on his opponent. But if you look at Camporelli, just miles away from his opponent. You see it here, Hickmott just around the corner, nice little kick, sort of needed to carry a bit more, but Backwell controlled it beautifully. And I think he did see Camporelli in there in the goal square. Just didn't have much to do, but just tip it through.
And there's young David Burke receiving treatment for what would have to be a corky to the left thigh. And Richmond have made a change. Tivendale has gone on to Camporelli, just come off the bench. Camporelli, an amazing ability to get out in the open, as he did for that goal then. McKay up towards half forward. Houghton throws himself at it. Great roving Lappin. Into the behind post on the bounce, so we'll have a throw in.
And also Hickmott has been taken from the field as well. He's had 8 possessions and 4 marks, and Simon Beaumont's come on for the Blues.
Just on David Burke, it's a corky to the left thigh. They're going to give him 5 minutes, see if he can come back on, but he's very, very sore.
I don't think he'll be coming on.
Oh, Whitnell, magnificent in the ruck. Chaffee for the Tigers. Just took one step too many. Holding the ball right in front.
Well, that's not surprising to see Aaron Hamill run down Chaffee, because he's the leading tackler for the Carlton side this year. And this is great chasing, Jim. And
Yeah,
look
absolutely.
at that. That's a perfect tackle.
Yeah,
Took him down on the side, didn't get into his back.
And he grabbed both arms, so he couldn't even get a handball off.
Great camera work there.
And with the twist so that you don't carry the player forward in the middle of the back. That was a perfect tackle from behind. And so the Blues 2-1, looking to kick their third. This should be a soda right in front, 40 metres out. He's got it.
I'd have to say right now, the real difference is that Carlton have got a couple of key forwards they can kick to, with Whitnell and Hamill. And it's so important for Hamill to stand up. And then down the other end, really, they've only got Ottens as a target. Just see here, just a great tackle. 2 arms, bound in, straight in front, 45 out.
Handy start by the Blues. They lead by 16 points. Hamill and Whitnell starting in the goal square. They both lead up the ground and present themselves as targets. Broderick has just come onto the field for the Tigers. Dragicevic off. Camporelli was a great pickup. Didn't quite hit his target. Great hands that time by Allen to McKay, who comes down hard from half back. Holland just on the field as well. Callaway tackled by Ratton. 2 tough nuts together. Bitterscombe under pressure. The Blues have been terrific on the forward line with their chasing and tackling. Tivendale comes back from the back pockets. A big transfer of play and finds Joel Bowden, who's won a lot of the ball. 8 possessions for Joel Bowden. This is a great kick. Chance for Tawney. Centre wing. Inside 50. Again, it's a floater. Not a good kick at all. On the ground was Manton. Tried to slap it out. They'll pile on top. Players come in from everywhere. Hilton's there as well. So was Rogers. Broderick just couldn't quite hit his target. Freeborn paddles the ball along well. Franchina pumps the ball back towards the centre wing. Beaumont was forced under the ball. Holland does well at ground level. Not getting the bounce he wanted was Bowden, but he gets the lucky kick. Claims the mark. No 10 metres. Holland comes away from half-back. Again, a shocking kick into the forward line. Richmond really not penetrating with their kicks. Look at Ottens trying to mesmerise the opponent in Allen. Knights from an impossible angle, floating back. Touched on the line by Kuda.
Not too sure whether Knights was trying to cross that or kick for goal, but some of that kicking is just appalling. All these floaters. Hate to be on the forward line.
Have been a few skill errors. Oh, Rice's kick in has put his team under pressure. McKay, you're gone. Oh, play on, says the umpire. Lucky. Rice again. Silvani. Richmond fans not happy. Silvani clears to outer wing. Camporelli overruns it. Has another chance at it. Chippendale. They ran out of room. Biddiscombe gained some ground. Short of half forward. Nelson goes to ground. Lappin. A lot of pressure on in this game. 3-1 to 4 behinds. Biddiscombe for the Tigers. Concedes a little bit of ground. Harrison upended. He's kicked to the 50. Otten's high. Couldn't mark. Knights. Slippery as an eel, but gave it straight up. Silvani. Close to the line. Holland keeps it in. Well, both teams trying to attack, and the Tigers still looking for their first goal. Gale floats one to Chaffee. Chaffee's kick. This is better. Couldn't quite Hilton. And the ball's going to be balled up about 35 metres out right in front.
Joel Bowden at the bottom of the pack.
Well, the tackle count has got to be up by now. This is good, hard, tough footy, Kev.
Just under 5 minutes left, Jim, in this first quarter. 3-1-19 the Blues. The Tigers 4 behinds. Callaway hits the post.
It's a bit of a sliding Man United little, trying to just get that in on the right foot there.
Matthew Lappin off and Brendan Favola on.
Here's Callaway. And just did it come off the foot of his teammate as well? Onto the post?
Yeah, I don't think it would have made it.
Rice gets the hurry up from the umpire, then tries to pinpoint it. It was a dangerous kick. Here's Knights. Arches the back to Hilton, who's had a terrific season. Great smother by McKay, the All-Australian halfback. Magnificent play for the Blues. Pumps it back towards centre half forward. Gaspar! Well, he's a great mark, is Darren Gaspar. What a duel that will be. Gaspar and Lance Whitnell and Hamill. He'll pick up those key forwards all day. Pumps the ball out wide. Another great grab. Looked like Joel Bowden. Well, he's having a tremendous season and a big opening quarter. 9 possessions and 2 marks. His father played in the Tigers premiership side in 1969. Rice. He's been paid the mark.
His father must be old by now, KB. He played with you.
Yes. He's probably got no hair.
Here's Rice. Back to a big pack in midfield. Most of the highlights have been on both back lines. The umpire will come in and ball this up. 3.5 minutes just under to quarter time. 3-1 Carlton and 5 behinds Richmond. David Burke still being worked on. They're stretching that left thigh. Houghton, a clever back flip, but intercepted by Knights. Over the top he comes. Chaffee. Daffy, held by one hand, grabbed it with the other. And Nelson, the tackler, dashes back to get the footy. Spills to Koutafidis. Up to centre wing. Hamill, good lead. And the true centre wing. Smoker stand side of the MCG. Crowd probably about 70,000 here today for Richmond and Carlton. Beaumont in midfield. Everything pretty well blocked down on the forward line. Favola leads, can't take the mark. Ground level, Biddiscombe goes wide. All Carlton. Silvani's drifted forward. He might get this too. Eventually does. Silvani short to Favola, but short was too long. Biddiscombe.
Poor kick by Stephen Silvani. Biddiscombe again finds his target and Gale. It's a poor handball. Hands and knees. Beaumont to McKay has been very good across half back, and so has Koutafidis. Looks to be in great touch. He was looking for Houghton. Knights pounced on it. Sets it up the playmaker. Harris Harrison. Casual bounce from half-back. Running hard is Broderick. Started on the bench. Can use the ball well to space. Daffy on the stretch. 35 metres out. Screaming for the ball was Benny Gale. That's been ignored. Plenty of goal space open for Nick Daffy.
Well, Kev, if you look at the number of shots they've had for goal, really, Richmond have had one extra shot. Still yet to score a goal, but getting the ball into the 50 plenty of times, and if you look at that, they're pretty even, both teams.
He's got to bend this back right to left. Nick Daffy. He's pushed it left, far, far too left. In fact, out of bounds on the full. So 2 wasted opportunities by Nick Daffy.
The Tigers really have been gutsing out their games this year, but they wouldn't want to get too far behind early. Awkward one for Ratton. He picked up on the half volley well. McKay with distance to centre wing. And Gasper at the moment on top in the contest against Lance Whitnell.
Give him a beautiful professional little shove there.
Kick by Gasper. Huge pack. Hilton! Up nearly as high as the Hilton Hotel. Whistle's gone. Carlton free. Advantage. Comes to Camporelli. Kutafides getting a lot of the football for the Blues. This is now 8 possessions. In he comes. Good mark.
He does it well, Aaron Hamill. He always jumps early. He's got a great leap. He's also their leading tackler as well. Look at the extension he gets there with the arms.
Magnificent mark. And here's Gasper again. Well, he's got nearly the biggest job on the ground, and so far, he's just about best on ground.
Well, Lance Whitnell took Essendon apart, including James Hird and Matthew Lloyd. Fletcher, also at Collingwood, who's magnificent. Great last week also against Port Adelaide. But today, Darren Gaspar has taken up the challenge. Tawney from half-back. It's been a surprise packet for the Tigers this year. Just played the 3 games last year as the siren sounds. Entertaining opening term. Tigers goalless. 5 behinds for the Tigers. 3-1-19 to the Blues. They lead by 14 points. And Aaron Hamill on screen there looks to be a little bit of trouble, just bending over on the haunches.
And Gasper, his opponent, 4 marks and 5 kicks in the opening term, but the Tigers didn't manage a goal. It's 3-1 to 5 points.
A disappointment there for the Tigers. David Burke, who has been in very good form so far this year, got that heavy cork there, that clash with Aaron Hamill, and I'd be surprised if he comes back onto the ground. Here's a replay of it, and got really kneed there in that left thigh, and I don't think we'll see him again, Jim.
No. With a corky like that, usually as time goes on, it gets tighter and tighter, and if you're not on within about another 10 minutes, I don't reckon you'll be on again.
I think that incident might be seen a few more times by various people. We start the second quarter. Gale went up too early. Allen gets it down to Franchina, and is kicked deep into the forward line. Here's a forward mark. Hot.
Well, he's added to their forward line that marking power that they lacked last year in the grand final, Trent Houghton, and he has been a terrific pickup.
If you have a look here, though, you see a really strong mark as Houghton pushes back, but the clearance out of centre is where it really started up. Gale jumped too early. Allen waited, timed it beautifully, tapped it down to Franchina. He took a risk on his opponent, and just a great centre clearance.
A goal to Houghton.
Great start to Carlton, though. You've got to just, you know, when you've already kicked, you're up by 3 goals. You just got to keep putting scoreboard pressure on a team that keeps kicking points. Here we have the centre bounce. Just a beautiful tap there to Allen.
And look at Whitnell here get rid of Gasper off the ball. Gasper would have loved to have gone in to help Harrison, but he wasn't allowed.
Smart play.
Great start by the Blues. 4-1-25. 5 behinds the Tigers. And Trent Houghton has been a fantastic pickup. Great credit to him. Started his career with the Collingwood side. He went and played at East Bird. Picked up, given a second chance. And he's grabbed it with both hands. Duncan Callaway.
It was a lot better there from Gale, the way he contested that centre bounce, and that's what he's got to be able to do all day against Allen.
There's the 2 important matchups. Franchina playing on Knights and Callaway playing on Ratton. Knights Such an important player for the Tigers. Bowden had a very big first quarter. Kicks a high ball. Bradley attacked it hard. There's his shadow king. Bradley, magnificent play. Dances around his opponent, pumps the ball back. Hilton came out, got a fist to the ball. Chaffee just crashed into Lappin. Loose ball on the half-forward line. Danger here for the Tigers. Franchina to Whitnell. Again, too much carry on the ball. Gaspar will tickle the ball towards the boundary line. Backwell closed quickly. He's super quick, the young man from Queensland. And Dragicevic happily just takes it over the line for a toss back in.
It's not a very good kick there from Franchina. Just trying to drill it instead of just popping it out and letting Whitnell run into the ball.
Underrated player, Franchina. Whitnell, the ruck work. Ratton, the general, short. Finds Allen. He's 55 metres out. Hotton's in the square. Gaspar over the top. Whitnell. Quick kick, high ball. The Tigers will be keen to punch this through. Knights ducks the head to Gaspar. Decides to just put it back over the line for a behind.
So you have Callaway there just standing waiting to run off for the ball.
Carlton bench, Adrian Hickmont, Brendan Favola, Darren Hume and Simon Fletcher.
Now, Lee Matthews might be watching this telecast up in Brisbane. Now, that's the perfect example of what Lee's talking about. He reckons that should be a three-pointer rather than just conceding one. McKay putting pressure on Sampson and the ball out.
Well, if he had given it to Callaway, that's when you get a great opportunity for a counter-attack. And often that's when you can score some really good goals because your opposition is in sort of, they're all on their own and you've got players free all over the ground.
Throw in down towards half forward. The Tigers need to get on the scoreboard in a hurry. McKay to Bradley. Bradley over centre wing. Hamill almost gets it going Carlton's way. Camporelli. Lappin floats one over the top, putting it out in front of Freeborn. He's worked off it by Bowden. Then Bowden's held off it by Beaumont. It spills to Backwell across the face of goal, and he had Lance Whitnell at the top of the square.
Well, I don't know what to say about that one, but really you've either got to score them or you give it off, and there's no in between.
Richmond bench, Aaron Fiora, Paul Broderick, David Burke was unlikely to come on, and Greg Tivendale.
Bitterscombe pumps the ball wide. It's a good kick. Finds Holland, who started on the interchange bench, came on and replaced David Burke. Was off after that clash with Hamill. It was a poor kick. 2 against 1. Hamill, who's quick. Kudafuti's been magnificent in the game so far. Looks super sharp. Back towards centre half forward, and there's Holland. Handball was poor. Put Chaffee under a lot of pressure. They'll have to share the ball around. King, who is quick, comes away. Callaway, Andrew from half back. Big kick right to 50. Look at the fly down there by Ottens. Just went too early. And Brad Ottens, you can see there, gave away the free kick over the shoulder to Stephen Silvani. Matthew Allen plays that kick behind the play and also pushes forward. He's got 6 possessions and 3 marks.
Franchino has been good on Knights.
He's a very good player. We know he made his reputation on Nicky Winmar a couple of years ago when Nicky lost the plot. Rice from half back to centre half forward, dropping short, playing in front. Chaffee.
Well, can the Tigers get something on their forward line? Here's a chance right to centre half forward. Harrison couldn't take the mark, comes to Rice. Kick by Rice, back to Carlton's half forward. A fumble in the Richmond defensive area. Could be costly, but the whistle's gone, and a free kick's going to be a bit handy here for the Tigers.
They can get on real quick. They've got Holland free, and Holland and Kudafidis are playing a bit of Russian roulette here.
There's the kick in the direction of Harrison. Punch by Manton, comes to McKay. His kick went nowhere. Chance for Sampson. He breaks Ratton's tackle, gets it back to Dragicevic. And Silvani in front. Did he spill it? Well, the mark was paid, and a few in the crowd down there have got a good view of it. Reckon it might have spilled out for air.
Well, it was a slips catch. Here's Ratton. Got the kind bounce he wanted. Centering kick, looking for Franchina. Edge of the centre square. Lappin, those quick hands to Kudafidis. To centre half forward. Whitnell's going to be the target. Look at the big fist, but great grab. Whitnell, waste no time. He goes to space. Beaumont! Well, that was a terrific mark by Lance Whitnell, because Gaspar looked like he had plenty of purchase on the ball with a big fist, but he hung onto it, and ever alert, wastes no time, and he popped it out in front. And Beaumont, the juggler.
Well, that's just the start Whitnell's needed. That's the first mark since about the first minute of the game.
Well, he has kicked 8 goals in the league game. That's a good kick. I always think he looks very dangerous on the forward line, Simon Beaumont. We know he did kick those 8 goals in that half against Collingwood. Has played a bit across half-back now. Let's have a look at Silvani here.
Yeah, that definitely slipped through, although I think he protected it well from the umpire's view.
Well, this is starting to get a little bit out of hand for the Tigers at the moment. 28 points down. And that in itself isn't insurmountable in modern football, but they haven't kicked a goal, and we're 8 minutes into the second quarter. Out of the middle. Kick by Tawney up towards half forward. Harrison can't get a fist of the ball.
Gee.
He had a week to get rid of it, and the umpire gave him the benefit.
What a fantastic tackle by McKay, because he actually held up Harrison so he couldn't pass the ball off. It was 2 against 1. It's been magnificent, McKay.
Manton takes front position, flips it up towards centre wing. Backwell, well gathered by Ratton. Camporelli under pressure from King. He dropped it red hot. Well, Camporelli doesn't usually get the ball in such close proximity to the opposition, and he wasn't quite able to manage it that time. King gets it back from Dragicevic. Up towards half forward. Oh, Kellaway climbed at the pack. Comes to the front to Daffy. He's got to do a little bit more. Maybe all the forwards on the ground have got to do more. Silvani spoils Ottens, and it's out of bounds.
Consummate defender, Stephen Silvani. Brad Ottens on screen. There's the Carlton bench. Got Fletcher, Hume, Favola. All waiting for their chance to get back into the action. Allen and Ottens. Ottens just try to take it out of the contest. Daffy on hands and knees tonight. His partner in crime maybe caught high. There was no free kick. He was set upon by 4 Carlton players. Now the ball is coming back, and a free kick is going to Bitterscombe.
It took them the umpire a while to make that decision.
Good time to rotate Ottens and Gale, just to give him a bit of a change.
Bitterscombe. Big kick. Dangerous kick. Big fist came from Allen. Dragicevic. Got a heavy bump from Hamill. They've been quite physical, the Blues, today. Their chasing and tackling has been magnificent. Koutafidis, his rare mistake, has been in top form. Hilton, centre wing. There's 50. And this could be an important 50, because it'll bring him into reach of having a shot for goal.
See, that's a long...
Look where the umpire's
It's a big 50 too.
It's 75.
So this just could be the turning point for the Tigers. And yet to kick a goal. They've played 10.5 minutes into this second quarter. And Hilton.
And KB off the ball. Aaron Fiora runs onto the MCG for his first game. What a prospect. 70,000. And it's his first game in the AFL.
And back for the Blues as a kid.
Yep.
And his favourite players, Stephen Silvani.
And Craig Bradley.
Craig Bradley. Hilton, 35 metres out. Bangs it through for the Tigers.
Well, I was about to make a comment just before that Koutafidis is really a thorn in Richmond's side, because they've been trying to drag him out of there. They had Holland in there, they put Harrison back there. And as it turned out, it was a 50-metre penalty that actually got the ball over the centre half, over Koutafidis. It was Koutafidis that gave away the play. But that's what, you know, you need blokes like Rory Hilton to just pop in and kick some goals. And as you said, this could be a turning point for Richmond.
David Burke still having treatment on that cork thigh sustained in the first quarter in a clash with Hamill. And it took the Tigers until the 11-minute mark of the second quarter to get their first goal. Ottens is on the ball. Tawney gets a high tackle. And maybe Ottens going onto the ball might be a turning point, as well as the 50-metre penalty. Koutafidis gets back, can't mark. Silvani off the left. Awkward for Camporelli. He's gone again. Oh, it's in the back this time. So there have been 2 tackles by King. One he got the free, one he gave up the free. Well, I suppose you had to pay that one. Camporelli's kick, an awkward half volley again. Freeborn comes wide to the wing. Lappin, another half volley. What's going on here? Biddiscombe. Chance for the Tigers here. Oh, excellent mark by Camporelli. You don't expect your wingman to be taking those two off.
Camporelli. 9 possessions. Coming off 47 last week. Chaffey, who was good against Sydney. Edge of the centre square to the half-forward line. Great kick. Rogers. Now here's a goal kicker. He'll be shooting from just inside 50. Otten's on a lead. That's been ignored. Rogers fancies his chances. He's kicked 92 career goals. A man from South Australia, from right on 50. Unloads, leaves nothing behind. Rams at home.
Well, when the Tigers start coming back and the fans start rallying behind this side, there's hardly a more fearsome driving force in football than the Tigers fans on the march, KB.
And you just need something like that 50-metre penalty to just change your fortunes, Jim.
Absolutely, give yourself a bit of confidence.
Well, Richmond have kicked the last 2 goals. And they're off and running. Chaffey goes in, applies the pressure. It spills to Knights. Clever hand pass. Well, it wasn't all that great for Holland. Had to try and get it back to Knights. Now Holland comes up with it. Gasper, Chaffey, Knights. So Chaffey and Knights involved twice there, and eventually they found some space. Rogers, who kicked the last goal, couldn't take the mark. Beaumont busts a tackle. Whitnell swamped. Koutafidis playing a magnificent game. Chaffey. Well, he ignored the threat to his own well-being to go in and win the footy. And so did Manton for the Blues. Comes back to Biddiscombe. Chaffey into King, one of the smallest on the ground. Good pass to Kellaway. Oh, he should have given the hand pass the first time. Now back to King. Kick by King up towards half-forward. Kellaway, Andrew. Good mark. Well, when you've got Silvani coming at you, you know you're in trouble, but he never took his eyes off it.
It was a brave mark, take a bow. Andrew Kellaway, look at Silvani, came across, eyes only for the ball. Kellaway stood his ground. King, kick and a half from goal, inside 50. Great grab, wonderful kick to Joel Bowden in front of Hickmott.
This has been really interesting because Andrew Kellaway went on Koutafidis there for a few minutes, and Koutafidis was caught on the half-forward line, and he was able to get down the ground, take a mark there, and then get an attack. So as you'll see here, Freeborn not too happy after getting taken off the ground. But a great just turnover there for Richmond, and it just shows you what 4 or 5 minutes can do in footy.
And Paul Couch, a big change on the boundary line.
Yeah, Lance Whitnell's come off. It's just the blood rule, KB. He's nothing. He's just got a scratch in the forehead.
What about Clinton King? He handled it about 3 times in that last movement, went straight to the bench.
Yeah, a lot of rotations on both sides, just matching up all over the ground.
Bowden, 45 metres out. The Tigers are back in this game.
Well, you mentioned King there. He's had 7 possessions in this quarter. Chaffey's had 8. And that really just shows you that in the midfield department, Richmond's starting to get on top. But Bad News had a terrific game so far. Just got away from Hickmott. Took a good mark and a hell of a lot better kick than what he gave us in the first quarter.
Lance Whitnell receiving treatment off the ground on the blood rule. Well, the Tigers have kicked the last 3 goals, and there's just 10 points the difference now at the MCG. Otten's against Allen, the All-Australian and the up-and-comer. Clever off the ground to put the ball out in space, and a chance here for the Tigers. Here's the first game of Viola. Well done, son. Gets the hand pass away. Will it set up their fourth goal? Long kick by Rogers. I think it's a goal.
I think you might be right, Drew.
And they came from everywhere to young Aaron Fiora, who got it in midfield. The Tigers have kicked 4 in 5 minutes.
Well, I got to say, the way that ball was rolling around in the middle of the ground there, it just rolled beautifully towards Fiora. He picked it up, took on a few opponents, as you'll see here. It's just good to see. Not afraid. First game, gave off a beautiful handball there. Just gave Rogers a chance to look up. 55 out. And Silvani, great effort there just to try and get his fingers to it, but just couldn't do it.
Now, Couchy did Freeborn break the glass down in the box.
He's put a nice little hole in it, KB, there, but he hasn't got a scratch on him, so he's okay. He's just got a little bit angry when he come off.
Well, the Tigers have hit back 4-5-29. They trail by 4 points, 5-3-33, the Blues. Hickmott out of the centre square to centre half forward for Vola. Thumped away that time. The Tigers' back line's been very good in this second quarter. Bowden doing it at both ends of the ground. Bitterscombe squeezed the ball out to Holland, who goes very short. Manton's going to cut it off. Rockets the ball to Beaumont. Danger for the Tigers. Beaumont, a centering kick. It's a poor kick. Puts it straight over the line, out of bounds on the full.
I would have thought there you had plenty of time to have a shot for goal. He just, I don't know, I think he was too worried about trying to find a teammate.
Just got caught in two minds, Jim.
Yep.
Holland started on the bench. It's been pretty handy since he's gone into defence. 8 possessions and 3 marks. He replaced David Burke, went off with a thigh injury. Manton shovel the ball out to Bradley. 65 metres out for Vola's going to be the target. The long arms of Holland. Well, the Tigers have gone up a cog. They've kicked 4 goals in 6 minutes. And there's plenty of run in the legs. Tivendale from Bowden, from half-back. Raking kick. McKay was magnificent in the first quarter. Kicked off the ground by Hilton. It was clever play. Down to 50. Rice goes to ground. You've got to keep your feet. Gale got one in the back.
Well, it's very obvious since Whitlam went off the ground. He's coming back on now in a minute, but you just don't have a target down the forward line. Favola's not the answer.
Whittle on, hot and off, high ball. Callaway got his hands on the ball. Not enough purchase. Koutafidis has been supreme in defence. Good presence of mind to Bradley. The general will set it up to McKay. 2 old heads combined. Pumps the ball wide and finds Hamill. He's a long way from half forward. He's across half back. Camporelli says, kick it to me. He goes short. Finds Ratton. Very short, great kick. Finds Favola. 65 metres out. The star of the Millennium game. A wobbler. Whitnell! Well, he's come straight off the bench. And he's so good at getting that ball that drops short. He reads it so well off the boot.
Well, for a change, I got to say, at least Favola started to present himself to the footy. Got out in front of Gasper. And Whittle has just come on the ground. Bit of a mongrel kick. It just fell into his hands.
Well, you would think the ball was half flat the way it's been kicked today. Whitnell, important kick for the Blues. He has nailed it.
Well, a steadier for the Blues, which they needed after Tigers had kicked 4 straight. The game's sure got a different atmosphere now that the Tigers have had this burst.
Well, it just sort of shows you how important your midfield, like Tigers midfield were just on top there, and then all of a sudden they got a bit of a break there. Carlton started lifted, got the ball forward, got it forward to lead and present to the ball, and makes all the difference.
Well, again, it's the old hand. Allen against the young buck, Ottens. Well, the bounce favoured Allen. Need to find a rover after that one. And maybe the umpire will do better with the next bounce.
Jury, just the ground itself, it is very, very slippery. There's a bit of dew on the ground, so that's why the players are slipping over. It's very slippery. There's not a lot of give in it. There is give in it, but it is a little bit slippery.
Where long stops.
Yes, Allen does beat Ottens this time quite clearly. Comes down to Daffy, and away go the Tigers once more. Knights, Humes just come on to replace Franchina. Knights held off it when he didn't have it. No whistle. Daffy intercepts. Back to Bitterscombe. Bitterscombe thumps it long, a bit of penetration. Gale's gone to the forward line. Oh, Bowden couldn't quite take the mark. Hickmott at the back for the Blues. This could be dangerous if Allen doesn't grab it. Daffy, 45 metres. Now 50, Ottens. Ottens kick to the goal square. Bowden camped underneath it. The spoil late. Bowden the tackle. It's come to the Tigers. Snap for goal round the corner, and Sampson has missed it away to the right. In fact, out of bounds.
Selfish play there. Sampson should have given that handball off. Your teammates everywhere.
Well, the Blues are double teaming Matthew Knights. Fanchina was his first opponent. Now they brought Hume on. Some fresh legs. Lappin does well. Squeezed up on the boundary line. Penetrating kick. Hamill always plays in front. He got the call from Ratton. Needs a bounce. For Vola, it was a centering kick was needed. Hamill, wonderful play by Ratton.
So I think Ratton might have looked to play on there. He did it smartly, though.
Well, it was good play by Ratton because he was going to centre the ball to Favola and then decided that last split second to kick the ball out in front and allow Hamill to run onto the ball. Now, he was nearly off here, Jim. I agree with you. I reckon there it was. For mine, he was off.
Oh, I think he might have gone out of bounds there. Ratton's left foot kick.
He drew the defence almost all the way up the race.
But it was beautifully composed play by Ratton.
And Hamill has banged it through. He's got two.
Well, often when a team has a turnaround, you often look at centre bounce clearances and so forth. And if you look at it, Richmond are up 4-2, but inside 50 for this quarter, 10-9 for Richmond. So it's pretty even, but just a beautiful, beautiful weighted pass there from Ratton.
But he was off here. You watch him, Jim. Look, see, he's taken a full stride.
I think though you can sort of get away with a little bit like Fraser Geary. He does it nearly every time, and he's so obvious. But he does it when he's come around from the mark. And
Jim Stein's watching on. Let's have a look at this ruck contest. Otten's won it. Down to Daffy. Inside the 50. It gets behind the defence. A chance here for Broderick. Gets the hand pass out. Tivendale beats one, beats two. All the way to the line. Close. And through for a minor score.
As I mentioned before, well, it's now 5 clearances to 2 going Richmond's way, and it's something that they did very well last week, really dominating Sydney in that area.
Blues by 15 points. Just under 4.5 minutes, Hamill. He's covered some territory. He's taken 7 marks. He's had 13 possessions, and he's booted 2 goals. Whitnell come off the bench in this quarter to kick a goal. Good handball out in front. Lappin. Beautiful kick for Vola. And he has been letting up the ground, Jim. You mentioned that earlier for Vola.
He just hasn't given them a whole lot in the last few weeks, I haven't thought, but in the last 10 minutes now, he's actually leading to the play, and he's getting some good kicks.
Well, he has been coming on and off the interchange bench. Can be difficult for Vola, for his confidence from right on 50. It's a big kick. Across the face. Through for a behind. A goal! Wow. That looked like it went across the face, but Favola has kicked a beauty.
Richmond fans aren't too happy about it. They got a good view.
I've got to say that
I think the girl was indicating she thought it missed. Let's have a look.
I'd love to see Favola's expression after he kicked that. Well, it didn't look like, I don't know.
Well, the main thing is it's a goal for the Blues.
I'd love to have seen his expression as he kicked it through, because often the player gives that away.
I reckon the goal umpire's name is Alfred Hitchcock. Well, they jolted the ball free, the Blues in midfield. It's Bills to Koutafidis. Oh, good mark. Biddiscombe in front. Been a good player for the Tigers this year. Ex-Geelong player. Across the half-back line he goes. Andrew Kellaway to Bowden. Bowden prefers to kick them long rather than short. We saw his shot earlier in the game to Gale. Broderick. Still with Paul Broderick. King, who's tackled well. Amazing how little blokes seem to tackle well. I know Aaron Hamill's a good tackler, and he's by no means a little bloke, but you look at Tony Liberatore, and Clinton King has laid a few tackles here today, built like a pull-through.
You mentioned Biddiscombe just before. He's had 14 possessions already.
Back near the centre. Gale in ruck. This is where it can be crucial. 50 metres one way or the other. It's a difference of 100. But this time it goes nowhere.
Well, they've hit back with 3 quick goals, the Blues, after the Tigers kicked 4 goals in 6 minutes. It's a 21-point ball game. Ball up in the centre square. Houghton doing the ruck work. Koutafidis, great hands. Camporelli sets it up magnificently, and Hamill, who's got great hands out in front. He's got very strong eyes. He hits the ball hard, never takes his eyes off the ball. And he has been a star. He's taken 8 marks. He's kicked 2 goals, and he's had 14 possessions. And terrific touch also by Koutafidis. That one grab player, and he's in really good form.
Yeah, absolutely. With Koutafidis, you said good hands, but I watched him because he was tackling. They tried to bring him to ground, and just to strengthen his legs, just to stay on his feet, which allowed him to get back second effort to the ball, get it back and deliver it.
Aaron Hamill, now he doesn't like it.
What about the goal?
Hit the
goal
post.
umpire.
Is the important one.
Alfred.
Might be out in the bush next week.
There's Biddiscombe kicking in with plenty of distance. Gasper front position, couldn't take the mark. Harrison, hand pass at his teammate's feet, but Gale finds Daffy. All Richmond here. Rogers, good mark low down. A good 70 metres from goal. Blues have steadied. Tivendale near the boundary line. Closed down by Hickmott. Centering ball, Ottens. He palmed it for himself and just couldn't get enough on it. But that was clever. The bloke's about 6'6", and he palmed it with the outside of his hand to his own advantage.
Matthew Lappin on the boundary line for the Blues. 52 plays 31. 8-4 the Blues, 4-7 the Tigers. Silvani tries to drill it 2 against 1. It was a poor option. Knight should set it up short to Daffy. Now he's had 2 opportunities to goal. Here's a loose player. Great vision. Being marked by Dragicevic directly in front.
Just came back on. Duncan Kellaway off.
Just in his 2nd season of AFL football, one of the young guns the Tigers are hoping will take a big step this year. Has been a goal kicker. He's only had a very short career.
Important kick for goal, though.
Just playing his 24th game. Straight through the centre.
Just important goal there, particularly as Carlton was starting to get back in. Sort of starting to take over the game again. They kicked, I think they kicked about 4 goals, and just so important here. They just stopped the ball coming out of the fence. Knights just found a short one in Daffy, who then was able to find Dragicevic just floating inside 50. But a really important kick for goal, because you don't want to let the opposition in at half-time with such a lead.
Well, only 10 seconds left on the clock to half-time. You wouldn't think there's time for a score at either end. So the Tigers might get the very important last score of this first half. The umpire comes in for a secondary bounce, and there goes the siren. Well, what a fluctuating game. Carlton kicked the first 5 goals, and then in an ominous burst in 5 minutes, the Tigers kicked the next 4. Then Carlton came back and kicked 3 in a row before Richmond kicked the last goal before half-time. And the margin is 15 points in an entertaining game. Carlton 8-4 to 5-7. David Parkin coaching game 500. The Blues are usually pretty good at winning milestone games. So a 15-point lead to the Blues. Gale back on the ball. Otten's finished playing in the ruck in at the end of the first half. Allen beats Gale, which he did pretty much when Benny was there earlier on. Ball tapped away by Freeborn. Bradley's there. What a season he's had. A little bit slow to get boot to ball. Kellaway, the hand pass to Broderick. Broderick off the left. That's his go. Looking for Rogers, but chopped out by Koutafidis. And he played a game. His kick round the corner, not great. And terrific mark by Tivendale, whipping in there to mark low down.
Started on the bench. Greg Tivendale from half back. Drills it. He's looking for Knights. A bit too much carry on the ball. Broderick has pounced on it. Short kick. Bowden, one of the Tigers' best in the first half. Callaway, strange to see him on the interchange bench during that second quarter. Koutoufides has really made a mistake. Some great tackling by Beaumont. And finally, the Blues force the ball over the line for a toss back in.
It's interesting to see Koutoufides starting on the ball.
Carlton bench, Fletcher, Nelson, Lappin and Backwell.
Callaway in front of Koutoufides with strength. Dispossessed. Broderick had it. Ripped out of his arms by Camporelli. He's caught by King. Ball up on the Tigers' half-forward line. They trail the Blues 8-4-52 to 5-7-37. Just 15 points. Big crowd in at the MCG. Koutoufides beaten by Bowden. They'll fall on top of the ball. Rogers wants a free kick. And again, take two.
Umpires today, Humphrey-Smith, Kelsey and McKenzie. Derek Humphrey-Smith replacing Hayden Kennedy.
And the bench for the Tigers, David Burke has got a bad corky, Ben Harrison, Callaway and Hilton.
So the Tigers' ranks have been reduced not only before the game but during the game. High tackle, free kick to Knights. And so on the Anzac weekend, the Tigers, in adversity, couldn't pick a better time. And something off the ball here, a free kick played down the field. And it's against Richmond, and it goes to Andy McKay, who was standing the mark while Knights was about to take his kick. Not sure what that was about. Taken by McKay up towards half-forward. Holland looks for the line.
Caught one in the head too. Should have got a free kick. Ben Holland.
Just got the ball to the line. Well, we've had a few disappointing crowds at games so far this season, but this was expected to draw about 70 and hasn't disappointed. And tomorrow the place will be absolutely jam-packed. Maybe 95,000 for Collingwood and Essendon tomorrow. McKay takes it on centre wing. His kick to the 50. Gaspar! Well, he's playing on Whitnell, who's a very tough proposition, and Gaspar has been absolutely terrific. 5 marks.
Cross half back, Gaspar. His target is Callaway, and that's a great grab. Now a free kick is going to go to his brother, who was held out of the contest. 2 Callaway brothers combined. Duncan Callaway looking for Ottens. He's had his hands full with Silvani. Camporelli just weaves his way out of trouble. Pumps the ball back to the edge of the centre square. There was a shove out there to Hamill. He looks at the umpire. There was no free. It was well done by Callaway. So a transfer of play. Gaspar goes wide, looking for Rogers. Good at 2 goals in that second quarter. Edge of the centre square. Fiora. Now the youngster playing his first game. This may be his first kick because he handballed it off in that second term, which resulted in a goal to Matthew Rogers. So I would say, Jim, that this is his first kick in AFL football, the young man from Port Adelaide.
Yeah, I think you're right there. And if you just have a look at, I suppose, well, we haven't seen him kick from outside 50, but he'll be kicking this from, I would say, probably 49, 50 metres.
Not a bad stage to kick your first goal, really.
No, you're right. He hasn't had a kick yet.
Fiora from just inside 50. Raking left foot. Great kick. He's a happy boy.
Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, is an all-time, lifetime highlight for that young boy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I remember Stephen Tingay, when he made his debut for Melbourne, kicked the goal with his first kick, and you hear it so often with footballers. I think Pavlich, the other week there for Freo, kicked his first 2 kicks were goals. So as you see it here, just good play, but these are the players that need to stand up for Richmond and kick goals because they don't have huge targets.
So Aaron Fiora, drafted from Port Adelaide. He was the best on the ground in his debut for the Magpies over in Adelaide. And he's kicked a goal at the MCG in front of a monster crowd with his first kick in the AFL. Ball's coming all the way back to the centre for a free kick to Broderick. And it's only 9 points the difference here. And Richmond have just kept on coming against the odds. Injured players before the game and further injuries during the game. We won't see David Burke back, we wouldn't think. This would be a great win if the Tigers get up today against the Blues. King takes the mark. Comes to Daffy. Daffy off the left. Dragicevic inside the 50. Worked his opponent under the ball. Fiora shepherded brilliantly. Dragicevic hand pass. In it comes to Kellaway. Oh, on Otten's edge of the goal square. And the Tigers will be within a kick after this.
Well, you've got to say that the midfield for the Tigers are really doing a good job. You know, they've fought their way back into the game. They're keeping Bradley and Campriali and these sort of Ratton fairly quiet. While they're still getting a little bit of possession, but they're not dominating like they're not getting clean possession. Otten's here obviously in front of his man. The ball drops short. Always a place to be for a forward, particularly when you're playing on strong opponents like Silvani. But it's something, it's probably an avenue that I think today Richmond haven't had is the tools of forward.
Otten's first. Tigers within 3 points.
I was just talking there about the midfield. If you look at Bradley, he's only taken the ball inside 50, whereas his opponent, Tony, has taken it inside 4 times.
Dragicevic here. Ball gets inside the 50, and watch just off the ball, young Fiora in his first game. He shepherded, took a clout, but made sure that Carlton got nowhere near the ball.
And the raw meter just hit 100 for the Tigers. Now what scoreboard? Just means they've got pretty loud voices. Brad Ottens is a real dead-eye dick. He's kicked 15 goals, 3 for the season. Koutafidis tried to shovel the ball out. Knights went through hard, got caught high.
I can't understand. Like, I thought Koutafidis was doing a pretty good job centre back. Highest possession winner, and they put him on the ball, and it really hasn't worked in their advantage.
Knights just weighing up the options. Kicks the ball out wide. Going back was Beaumont. Otten's leading Silvani to the ball. Hickmott tried to squeeze it out. Rice, the veteran, around the corner. Over the top was Houghton. Freeborn hits the pack hard, had it and lost it. King goes to ground and in the back.
I'll tell you, Hume, he'll take all day to shake off Hume.
Looking possessions and 4 marks to Clinton King. This is not a good kick. And Bradley, the oldest man in the game. What a season he's having. And there's his partner in crime, Camporelli, on the burst. 2 bounces. He's going to run inside 50. Long shot at goal. Callaway has read it well. So a big transfer of play to Rogers. King runs hard. This is a good kick. Koutafidis closes to McKay. It's been magnificent in the first half to Koutafidis. Short. Good kick. Freeborn. It was a brave mark. Had to back, kept his eyes on the ball.
Yeah, very good mark there. Kev just went back, one hand, as you'll see here, right on the boundary. Just had enough time, Koutafidis, to find Freeborn. And I'm sure he could probably hear his breath coming from behind, but stood his ground well.
Yet to kick a goal in AFL football. Just playing his 3rd game. Scott Freeborn, 45 metres out. Hammers it home.
Bit of an old-fashioned kicking style there, coming around when you're directly in front.
Bit of a Gaelic kick there, Jim.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what they spent 2 or 3 years trying to stop me doing when I first arrived. But good play there by Koutafidis, just covering the ground really well.
Jim McKay's been fantastic, hasn't he?
Yeah. Just keeps going a bit like Bradley.
So 2 South Australians getting their first AFL goal in this quarter. Fiora and Freeborn back in the middle. 9-point lead to the Blues. High out of the middle by Duncan Kellaway. Manton reaches over the top to spoil. Tawney with Bradley. Tawney's kept the champ down to something reasonable today. Into Kellaway. Left footer. Ottens. Oh, Koutafidis. Rice. Well done, Kouta. He's played a magnificent game, 19 possessions. It comes to Dragicevic. Open goal, but he hooked it back too far. Behind.
Well, that was a wasted opportunity. And the Blues there just trying to share the ball around. But it was too close for that handball. Just couldn't quite get a sighting of it.
Yeah, and he had Rogers there. I thought either he needed to just take off, use his speed, gain a few metres, straighten up to goal, or else handball it off to Rogers, who was running past.
Blues by 8 points, 9-4, plays 78. Carlton led by 14 points at quarter time, 15 points at half time. McKay in the back pocket. 15 possessions and 3 marks. He's been a stumbling block for the Tigers. And Gaspar has been magnificent across half back, and Andrew Callaway. They're tough to beat. They stick to their jobs. Short to his brother. Duncan Callaway. Transfer of play. Finds Bowden. Through the centre square. Ottens is going to be the target. I thought he may have got a push out by Silvani. Well, I got manhandled. The Blues come away. Hamill, so good in that first half, has real presence. Wonderful kick to Ratton, who's run hard to the half-forward line. Knights closes quickly. Ratton inside 50. Whitnell with a shove off. Pushed out his opponent. He's been paid the mark. Kicked the goal in the second quarter when he came off the interchange bench after having that eye attended to. Just pushed Gaspar off the target here. And it's a clean mark.
It's good awareness too by Fafolo not to actually go for the mark.
Lance Whitnell. Tight angle. He's kicked the goal. He's got 2.
Well, it's interesting how quickly the ball turned over there. Richmond were in attack. And Koutafidis went down into defence. He's now taken the ball outside 50 quite a few times this quarter. But just got the ball down, quick attack. Ratton, Hamill. And here you got it. Just good positioning against Gaspar, who's been playing really well today.
$14 points the margin midway through the third quarter. Favours Allen again. He's done that a couple of times today. If you don't necessarily find a teammate, comes to Tawney. Bradley over 40 possessions last week, and today's been kept down to 9 so far. Hickmott. And back to Manton. Not much penetration in that kick, and fortunate that Houghton got in to take the mark. Trent Houghton to the 50. Whitnell again. Not quite this time. Bradley dragged off it, didn't have it. Free kick, Craig Bradley.
Yeah, it's good at making the most of free kick. He was just caught a little bit on the shoulder.
And a scoreboard replay. And a lot of Richmond fans not happy the free kick was paid. But they've paid their money. They're entitled to roar. When the scoreboard tells them to roar, they roar. And the scoreboard measures it on a metre. Bradley too far out for him. He spirals a torp. Oh! Juggle, no mark.
Yes, he's paid it.
Well, I wouldn't like to be given out at cricket for that one.
Well, he's covering a hell of a lot of ground, Koutafidis.
Tight angle. Oh, in short. McKay all the way from half back.
Well, he's the sort of player, Koutafidis, that you'd like to have in any team. And seen his flexibility to be able to play back, forward, on the ball. I didn't think it was to their advantage early in the quarter, but he's done an awful lot of running. Down the back line, and now he's up at forward. Bit of a juggling mark. He may have disputed whether he held it, but McKay, just coming from the back line, came in. A pretty easy goal to stretch their lead now to 20 points.
Great play by Koutafidis. 9 individual goal kickers for the Blues, and McKay has been great across half back. Hamill superb up forward, and Koutafidis all over the ground. He's in super touch. Broderick had it and lost it. Callaway, good hands to Tawney. He's had the job playing on Bradley. Backtracks, concedes ground back to Bowden. Short kick, Camporelli. Danger here for the Tigers. Camporelli's going short to Ratton. And runs hard and marks inside 50.
Tigers just letting the Blues midfield just get on top again.
Camporelli has been averaging so far this year 33 possessions a game. Blues by 20 points. Camporelli to the square. Hamill's in front. Big pack of players through for a minor score.
So at that rate, this is his worst game for the year because he's only 14 and we're more than halfway through the third quarter.
You see Ben Nelson on the interchange bench there along with Matthew Lappin.
What a sight, the MCG, when it has a big crowd like this. And what a sight it'll be tomorrow when the match goes live all around Australia, including into Melbourne, because it's a sellout. Chaffee, good hands. King. He's got Gasper, who's drifted well up. He's forward of the wing, Gasper. Not a bad kick. Rice the punch. Ball gets to the back. McKay, who just kicked the last goal. Allen, good hands. Brilliant football by Allen, the All-Australian ruckman. Freeborn, he was in trouble and knew it. Hilton goes for a bit of a toe poke. Comes to Freeborn. That's good vision. Hickmott, long to centre half forward. Gasper, drop the mark. Kellaway's there. Umpires put the whistle away for a moment and eventually he had to ball it up. It's 21 points the difference. Carlton in front. 8 1/4 minutes remaining to three-quarter time.
Greg Tivendale sitting on the interchange bench. 2 goals to Aaron Hamill and 2 to Lance Whitnell. And for the Tigers, Matthew Rogers also have 2 goals. Koutafidis now doing the ruck work. King, short kick, Tawney. Wow, kick by Favola. They'll pile on top. Koutafidis and Favola burrow in. They'll ball it up. Just 48 metres out from goal.
Funny game, KB. Carlton the first 5 goals. Richmond the next 4. Carlton the next 3. Richmond the next 3. And Carlton have kicked the last 3.
So it's important to try and break that sequence. If you can get a goal and get one back straight away. Great smother off the boot by Freeborn. Wonderful pickup. Sets it up to Allen. Handball, didn't really hit a target. Put Favola under a lot of pressure. Koutafidis is inspired. Back to Freeborn. He's coming up for his second goal. He's got it. Well, he's just kicked his first goal in AFL football. And 5 minutes later, he's got his second.
Yeah, it's some really good play here. A lot of pressure put on by the Blues, as you'll see. But this guy here, Koutafidis, just in and out the ball, finds he's got a bit of space, gets back up on his feet, and just the way he's just able to hold the ball, swing it around in one hand, just enormous hands. Just give it out to a player. It's Freeborn. As you see, Holland must have got a knock to the head.
Marvellous third quarter for Scott Freeborn. A couple of goals in this third term. Well, Holland was on the ground holding his head when it counted. Well, Carlton have kicked the last 4 goals after Richmond got to within 3 points. It's now 27 points the margin in favour of the Blues. Off the ground, Rogers. Sits well for Tivendale. Greg Tivendale off the left. Beautiful for Bowden. I'm going to mark this one down for a goal. I reckon Bowden is a beautiful kick from around 50. And naturally, when you say something like that, he'll spray it into the crowd. Joel Bowden kicked a goal today earlier in the second quarter. Tigers needing it now. Under 7 minutes to three-quarter time. And at one stage within 3 points. And only, it seems, 6 or 7 minutes later, it's 27 points. Here's the view. Kicks from 51. Joel, what are you doing to me?
What are you doing, backing blokes like that?
Benny Gale also in the hands of the trainers, being worked on. The interchange bench, Camporelli to bring the ball back into play.
It's interesting, they're doing a man-on-man setup for the kick-outs now.
Gee, what a game he's played. Andrew McKay, he's been absolutely magnificent. Kicks the ball to space. He's looking for Houghton. Got the bounce he wanted out in front. He'll need support. And here he comes, McKay. Keeps it alive to Bradley. Tickles the ball along the boundary line back to Houghton. It was clever play. Houghton, great presence of mind, sets it up. Franchina's going to run to 50 to the square. And Favola, just too big. Just had the drop on his opponent, Craig Bitterscombe. And Andrew McKay and Craig Bradley on the opposite side of the ground. It was just magnificent. It set it up here to Anthony Franchina. And this is the hot spot. This puts defenders under a lot of pressure. Here's Bitterscombe, just caught under the ball. A bit of body pressure here from Favola. And a simple mark. Can't miss. Kicks a goal.
Well, just on some of that play, something that teams work on a hell of a lot now is our kick-out set play. And what happened here was the Carlton knew they were being played man-on-man, so they brought the huddle in, and then it allowed McKay to get free, got out, got the kick out, followed it up along the wing, and they just kept getting numbers there. They got Franchina out. Obviously, he knew that they were going to get it, so he took off from the kick out. And really just makes a huge difference when you can get goals from that sort of a set play. Favola here, a lot stronger than his opponent. It's good play. Stretches their lead now by another goal.
And this is now the biggest lead, 32 points. They didn't lead by that much when they kicked the first 5 goals of the game before the Tigers got going. So a real trouble time for the Tigers. Free kick was going to be paid. Advantage to Camporelli. Bang, but he missed. Well, they should have kicked that too.
That's a rare mistake by Camporelli. He generally nails them. He's such a good finisher.
Well, Richmond not only need to stop this run by the Blues and kick the next goal, but they probably need to kick the next 4 or 5 in a run like the runs have been coming. Bitterscombe kicks in. Gasper at the back. Blind hand pass by Holland. Kellaway. Neither of the Kellaway boys are great with their foot skills, but Bowden has it just behind centre wing. But all the players are over on the members' side of the ground, this side of the corridor. Comes to Tivendale. He helicopters the ball towards full forward. Rogers got a fingernail to it. Here comes Fiora, the first gamer. Manton's got it. Back he goes. McKay again, KB's favourite. Daffy contests, but Hickmott gets the kick away. Oh, good mark. Excellent mark to Houghton. And the Blues looking pretty Houghton at the moment.
And the veteran Rice just tumbles the ball forward. Bounces over the line for a toss back in. 84 plays 51, 13-6. The Blues, 7-9, the Tigers. They're led by 14 points at quarter time, the Blues, 15 at half time. They've now extended that to 33 points. It's been a big third term, Allen. Just controlling the ruck. Koutafidis has been a star. Ratton bowled over that time by Daffy. Chaffee kicks the ball back towards centre half forward. Ottens. It's been a big duel. Here's Sampson, sets it up. Needing the bounce was Rogers. Should kick a goal. He's kicked 2. He's got 3.
A good play there. I was about to say that Richmond really lacking Richardson down there, because when the ball comes in, it tends to bounce out very quickly like it did just before. But here you see Richmond just got the fall of the ball. Ottens gave a contest, brought the ball down, which allowed Rogers to take a risk, got away from McKay and got the ball. But it was a beautiful little kick. Let the ball come around, do the work and bounce through the goal square.
Well, a vital goal for the Tigers. You'd reckon they'd need 2 or 3 more before 3/4 time. Ottens on the ball, gets it down, comes to Ratton. A lot quieter this week than he was last. Andy Kellaway takes the mark for the Tigers. Back to the front edge of the square. Knights can't take the mark. Here comes McKay, dashing off half back again. Up to half forward, and Houghton takes the mark. Bradley going past. This is looking dangerous. Allen the ruckman. Great kick. What a goal by the Blues.
Well, they were beaten there really again at centre half back. That's where the ball was turned over. And again, I just don't seem to have, before Ottens came out, gave them a contest, but without Ottens there or someone, they just don't seem to have anyone can bring the ball to the ground. And with people like McKay just coming streaming through, he's just been dominant all day from there. He could go to the big man. Probably hasn't done as much today as he has in the past few weeks, but certainly started well today.
Carlton certainly sharing the ball around. 10 individual goal kickers. 14-6-90 to 8-9-57. It's been a 6-goal quarter. Tigers have booted 3. Players just milling around the ball. Ball up, still inside the centre square. 3.5 minutes left in this third quarter. Joel Bowden on screen has been a good player for the Tigers. 20 possessions. He's also kicked a goal that came in the second quarter. With the Blues in control. The Tigers on their forward line just don't have enough winning options at the moment to threaten the Blues. Daffy, the juggler, was king. It was pinched that time by Freeborn. He's booted a couple of goals this term. Franchina hits the ball hard. Allen shovels the ball over the back. Whitnell well intercepted by Callaway. So Andrew Callaway rockets the ball wide. The playmaker, Knights, sets it up to Tivendale, who's a beautiful kick, runs through the centre square, drills it out in front. Rogers. Oh! That was a terrific mark. Really hit the ball hard. And they're not easy to take, Jim.
No, it's not. It's been a good move by Danny Frawley to put Rogers down there, knowing Rice is picking him up, try and isolate him at full forward. This gives them a chance of, you know, without having tall marking options. Well, I'm surprised I haven't put Gale up there.
Well, he did kick 4 goals last week, Benny Gale. Rogers went on the forward line against Fremantle and booted 3. He's going for his 4th goal. He's gone for a bit too much. Puts it out of bounds on the full, hits the behind post.
So Carlton bring it in short to Hickmott. 2 minutes remaining to three-quarter time. Hamill pushed out. Umpire said that was okay by Callaway. Biddiscombe dances around Freeborn. The kick towards centre half forward. Players looking into the sun, but it didn't stop Hickmott. Ratton, not a score at all today after 6 goals last week. Kick out in front of Hume. Daffy. Oh, Camporelli. Wonderful play by the Blues. Houghton. Camporelli going past, and if other teams can't work it out, they should by now. Camporelli to an open goal square, and he misses.
Again.
Just like he did a couple of minutes ago.
He's kicked 3 behinds in this quarter, 1-3 for the game. But he does keep on running. He's got terrific stamina. And we saw last week, picked up 47 possessions. So the confidence is high. He will continue to run on. He'll run through the lines. He'll run behind players. A real ball carrier. Biddiscombe kicks the ball wide. Houghton. It's been handy again today. He's had a turn in the ruck. He's played in defence, also on the forward line. Great grab. Ratton. Back edge of the centre square. Looking for Favola. And Holland just runs the ball over. Boundary throw in. Under a minute left in this third quarter. 91 plays 57. The Blues in control. So a big chance for the Blues. Still inside 50. They just pile on top.
Well, I thought it'd probably be a good idea to put Holland even up forward at this stage, just to try and give them a little bit of a target.
Well, he has been a goal kicker at different stages, hasn't he, in his short career, Ben Holland?
He might have slipped in their esteem. He started on the bench today.
Well, obviously, he wasn't in their starting lineup. Whitnell had it and lost it. Good tackle. Callaway goes to the ground, then tries to kick it, laying on his back. Koutafidis has been great. Simply too good, Kuta.
You got that one right, Kev. He's a good player all day. He's just giving him something in the packs. He's quick. He's agile for a big guy. He's able to come back and take marks. But particularly when the ball is low down. As you see here, Camporelli just starting to get on top again. Just found Kuta out on his own.
Look at the build, look at the speed. He can play like a small man, but he's built like an Adonis. is just the complete package.
Well, he did lose his confidence there for a while, didn't he, Cooter? And there was talk that he wasn't going to live up to the expectations.
Back in the centre with just 9 seconds remaining till three-quarter time, and maybe time for one more. Silvani dishes out the hand pass, but chopped off by Chaffee. That should be enough. Up to half forward, Knights marks. And the siren for three-quarter time. And Knights, no, Matty, I don't think he can make the distance from 75. And that is three-quarter time here. An undermanned Richmond trail by 40 points. And in that third quarter, Carlton rammed on 7 goals to 3 and lead 15-7 to 8 goals 9. And the criticism of the Blues so far has been their lack of leg speed, and they can't handle it away from Optus Oval. But they look as though they're heading for their first win at the MCG for the year. Last quarter about to get underway at the MCG. Allen to take a run at Gale. Gale wins this one, and the Tigers have it through Kellaway. He's caught ball and all. Bradley says, you're holding the ball. The umpire says, give it to me.
Both teams have been pretty tight in the middle there. The centre breaks are roughly even. Richmond done quite well considering Allen's probably getting his hand on more of the footy.
Huge pack around the ball. Pretty tough to get it out. I'm tipping a free kick shortly. The umpire can't keep on bouncing it. If he does, it's going to be a pretty uninteresting final turn.
Well, I'm sure it's what Danny Frawley would have said. Look, we got to get in, we got to play the game out. It's not over, even though it's 40 points difference, but we've got to be tough and hard at the footy and relentless.
So the ruckmen go again for the third time. Allen gets it out into a bit of space. And so this time we get a play on. Now we don't. We've got another ball up. Oh, somehow it flipped out. Ratton. Back in the cricket pitch area. Centre circle. Somebody please get a kick. And here's our third ball up, and it's back 1 metre away from the centre circle where we started, and we've been playing a minute 20.
We'll take 3 then, Drew. 15-7, 97 the Blues. 8-9, 57 the Tigers. They were 14 points at quarter time, Carlton. 15 at half time. 40 points in a big 6-goal. In fact, a big 7-goal third term for Carlton. Can the Tigers come back? Fiora kicked a goal with his first kick in AFL football. Again, Tigers have really had trouble today kicking the football. It's as if it hasn't got enough air. Tivendale pushed off the ball by Hickmott. Started well. He's been a handy player. Rice looking for Whitnell. He's had his hands full today. Gaspar's done a very good job on the champ.
Just that mark from Fiora and that kick, he's probably a little bit of inexperience. He had Bowden just sort of running inside 50, and it's probably more the option he should have taken.
Koutafidis has been magnificent today. He's back to his absolute best. He's dominated the game along with McKay, who's been unstoppable across half-back. They've been the two stumbling blocks. Koutafidis started at centre half-back, has moved onto the ball. He's moved all over the field. Kicked a goal in that third term. Whitnell to Ratton. Tickles the ball out to Franchina, to Freeborn. He's kicked a couple of goals. He's been dangerous to the half-forward line. Hamill was pushed out of the contest. Houghton had it and lost it. Hamill just shoveled the ball out to Camporelli, who's got better as the game has gone on. Hickmott for Vola has kicked a couple. He's got it. He looks a prospect, Brendan Favola. He suffered a bit from the focus of kicking the 12 goals in the Millennium game. And I think it carried a big weight on his shoulders, but he can play, and he plays in front. He's a bit like Whitnell, keeps pushing up in front all the time, Jim.
Yeah, it was a very good mark here because the opponent right on him, and just strong set of legs. He's able to obviously hold his position, hold his body in line with the ball.
Favola from 45 metres. He's pushed it across the face of goal and through for a minor score.
Well, that looked very like another goal that he got earlier in the second quarter.
Tivendale having a word with the coach on the phone. Dragicevic has just replaced him. Bowden kicks in for the Tigers. King still deep inside the 50. And just outside the 50 now to Chaffee. Richmond need to come home with a rush. Centre of the ground, Hickmott couldn't take the mark. Duncan Kellaway's there. Goes to ground. Oh, what a pickup by Cooter. Thanks for coming, Cooter. Magnificent football. Comes to the front. Houghton. Oh, well smothered. Chaffee has really tried his heart out today, Mark Chaffee. The hand pass in. Ratton dispossessed by King. Ratton. Down goes Kellaway. Dragicevic to Fiora. Awkward spinning ball towards the boundary line. Beats Holland and Manton out. Look at Koutafidis here. That's an oval ball. He's just scooped it up with one hand, transferred it to the other hand, palmed off a would-be defender, had a good look. Oh, it's great, isn't it?
Well, it's great to see him back playing such great football. He's an exciting player. He's shown us all of his skill today. Chance for the Blues. Whitnell run down that time by Bowden. Good defensive play. Bitterscombe comes away from halfback. So a transfer of play and a bad bounce for Harrison. Tied up by Favola. Harrison spent a lot of time on the interchange bench. Tawney shares the ball along with King. Inside 50 tonight. Should run on and kick a goal. Stands his ground. Hasn't been a goal kicker in recent years. Just 3 goals last year to Matthew Knights. Only kicked 116 career goals in 223 games.
It's not really a long kick either.
I always feel he should kick more goals. He's only kicked 2 goals for the season. It's part of his game, I think, that he should really concentrate more on, because he's a brilliant ball winner. And as you can see there, Jim,
beautiful.
He can kick a goal as well.
Well, they haven't given up the Tigers. They put on a lot of pressure there, particularly in the first few minutes of the game, just to try and close down a little bit of Carlton. But as we'll see here, Morrison did very, very well to get that kick off. He found Knights inside 50. It was a goal that he really had to kick.
The first goal of the final quarter going to the Tigers, but you'd reckon they'd need to kick about 8 goals in the last term to win, and to take 6 minutes to get the first, probably a bit behind schedule. And of course they can't afford to let Carlton get any more than about 1. Knights did well to work off Bradley. McKay has been sensational. Bradley again. Koutafidis, Camporelli, and they've just rounded up the usual suspects. Camporelli again. Favola waits, has a bit of a wrestle, and it allows Kellaway to come across to take the mark. Andy Kellaway plays on quickly. The Tigers need to do that. Harrison towards the southern stand side. Draws a man, puts a man out in the clear. Bowden. Good running Chaffee. Here's kick to half forward. Gaspar! Oh! Did well to get up there. Pity couldn't take the mark. Whitnell clears, and it might rebound to kill them here. Favola in short. Hamill. Well, the short was too long. Houghton running onto it. Gale looks for the boundary line. We all knew what he was trying to do. Umpire says throw it in.
Big jump here by Darren Gaspar. Just couldn't quite get balanced enough to take it. He's had a very good game.
Needed a few more flexibility classes just to arch that back up a bit higher.
Bitterscombe over the top, punches to the front. Camporelli starting to pick up a lot of possessions now. Hamill around the corner. It's been marked by Franchina.
It's had a good day, Franchina. Certainly makes his opponents earn every kick.
Well, he had the job on Matthew Knights in the first half. For a while there, young Hume went on to Matthew Knights, a bit of double teaming. Franchina now has the job again in this last quarter. Kicked a goal in the first quarter, Anthony Franchina. It's a tight angle. Through for a behind.
Well, certainly a lot of sting out of this game. Fans are pretty quiet.
Pretty quiet for such a big mob, isn't it? 6 goals the margin. McKay, magnificent game. Umpire says the ball was pinned in, and he'll ball it up.
Richmond really now just got to start taking a lot of risks. Just running forward, taking their opponents on, playing on at all costs just to try and get some run on.
Half forward for the Blues. Allen palms it down. Bradley and Koutafidis gets himself in the clear. His kick missed Camporelli. Favola pulled off his hand pass. That's an incorrect disposal. King. Oops. Gaspar. Oh, they're in trouble. King. Funny old kick. Knights just outside the 50. King again. That's better. And Andy Kellaway takes the mark. McKay into his back. Kellaway the free kick.
He's taken 8 marks.
Took about 8 possessions to move the ball about 30 metres there too. Kellaway again across the ground to brother Duncan. They can mount something here, the Tigers. Oh no.
He's playing terrible football at the moment.
Rice from the edge of the centre square finds Ratton. Tries to drill it. Good hands. Clean hands by Whitnell to Franchina. Stands and delivers. And hammers it home.
Possessions that way, 2 possessions that way. Goal.
Well, it needed something because the game was just getting a little bit horrible just watching it. Just there's nothing there. Silly mistakes, wrong options, short kicks. Even the kick here into the forward line wasn't much, but just good pick up there by Whitnell. And Franchina finished it off pretty well. But really, Richmond just got to start taking some risks and go along with the ball.
Aaron Hamill being rested. Armbands on the Carlton players today. 3 really well respected and loved people at Carlton have passed away recently. Leo Brooks and Ernie Lawrence, whom you used to see on the door at Carlton, and Father Briglia, the former chaplain of the Carlton Footy Club, have all passed away. And the players wearing armbands. Leo Brooks, what a legend he was. Training nights at Optus Oval. Lived just down the road from the Carlton ground. Kellaway trying to work out his options. Gale, well, he's had his hands full today, and that's just his 2nd mark for the day, and we'd have to absolutely give the points to Allen. Whitnell, whistle's gone, and well, Gaspar gets the free kick. Whitnell says, what are you trying to do, even it up?
Gaspar from the centre square. When the Tigers' best player been intercepted by Bradley. 16 possessions. Last week he had over 40. But he has been guarded today and minded. He's been tagged by Tawney for most of the game. And the free kick is going to Lance Whitnell to Lappin. So they're keen to get the ball moving quickly in the forward line. 11 individual goal kickers for the Blues. In front, Houghton had it and lost it. Hickmont wants to feed the ball off. Beaumont runs into a brick wall. Bit of a roadblock. Good enough to get away. Quick snap.
Oh, great mark.
He's got a lot of talent, Brendan Favola. I like the way he plays in front. He's got a big frame. He tacks the ball hard. Can he kick his 3rd goal? He has.
Okay. Well, Kevin, he's the best that I've seen him since the New Year's Eve game. I think this has probably been his best, most consistent game this year.
He has spent a lot of time on the interchange bench. It's hard to get your confidence. But I think that Millennium game, which you broadcast, Drew, it put the spotlight on a young boy who just came from nowhere to kick an Ansett Cup record of 12 goals.
There's Favola with 3 goals. Goals in the 2nd, 3rd and final terms. And it's all Carlton now, midway through the last quarter. Gale wins in the middle over Allen. Tawney loses it. Bradley. Koutafidis getting another possession here. Away to Hume. Koutafidis is now up to 28 possessions. Lappin pinpoints Houghton. Hume. Oh, that's where Angels fear to tread. Tivendale. They're running into each other now, the Tigers. Oh, Daffy's hand pass straight to the opposition. Hickmott wide to Rice, who wore the helmet last week and still got cut over the eye. Kicked by Rice deep inside 50. Allen! Well, 1st and maybe 3rd touches. Didn't pay the mark. Ball out towards the boundary line. Now, Jim, you reckon this is the best Favola's gone since you saw him in the Millennium game? Come clean, you didn't see the Millennium game.
That's right, I didn't.
The attendance today, 63,149. I would have tipped for more.
But if you're going to kick that many goals, you'd have to have played well, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I was thinking, well, there was nobody here, and I'm sure you weren't sitting at home on New Year's Eve watching the telecast.
No, I was in Ireland, actually.
Well, Koutafidis gave it across to Beaumont, and he's hit the post.
But just on that, when you talk about the pressure that some players have to come under, like Shane Crawford after winning the Brownlow, and these things, it does affect footballers, particularly younger players. I remember Koutafidis, you know, all these expectations thrown on him before really he had proven a whole lot. Like, he'd had a couple of fairly good seasons, but you need to have 4 or 5 years under your belt before you can really cement yourself as a great player.
Lose by 49 points. Biddiscombe rockets the ball back to Bowden. This dangerous kick. Backwell, magnificent, runs into the open goal. He's kicked it. Well, great anticipation by Brett Backwell. That's what you like to see. The Tigers just fiddled with the ball then. Lazily back to Bowden, then kicked it, and Backwell just chipping in. You've got to be alert all the time. He's done it very, very well.
And you can't wait for the ball.
Sitting to a standing target.
And really, that's got to be a good lesson in football for Kellaway, but great goal.
The skipper, Craig Bradley, sits down for a rest. 18 possessions today. Last week he had over 40. Job well done. Game well and truly won. And Fletcher comes on. I'm not sure that he's been on before. Tigers into attack inside the 50. Hickmott. Mark, was it?
Paid the mark.
63,000. Amazing. I thought over 70 today. Looked it to me. But monster crowd nevertheless. And perhaps just a precursor to tomorrow. The Anzac Day clash between Collingwood and Essendon, which is a sell-out all-ticket affair. I'll probably get over 90,000. Chaffee for the Tigers. To the 50. Went past Rice. Flipped out by Silvani. And he goes to the line. Stephen Silvani, full-back of the century.
Doesn't have to do a whole lot today.
Third up from a spell. Just back from missing the start of the season.
8 minutes left in this final quarter. Hilton looks like he's about to come back into the action for the Tigers. Hume just arched the back. Kicks the ball back to the edge of the centre square. Gale from behind. It's a juggle. And he's got it. And Backwell just holding him up. To Chaffee. It was a poor handball. Wasn't in front. Had to wait for it. Therefore, the kick's a very poor one by Chaffee. Shoveled out that time by Hickmott to McKay. Been superb again today. Kicks to space. Beaumont's got 2 to beat. Whitnell is going to close quickly. Gets good support. Gaspar, great shepherding. Biddiscombe from centre wing. In front, Kellaway. So the Tigers just playing for a bit of pride. Goes short, unchecked. Dragicevic. Kicked a goal in the second quarter. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. Still just making his way in the game. Looks a pretty talented prospect for the Tigers. Just in his second season. Young man from Geelong. Shooting from right on 50 is a beautiful kick. He's nailed it.
Did you think he would?
Yes, I think, look, I first saw him when he was playing in the under-18 finals here, and he looked to be an enormous prospect. Paul Couch was with me that day, and he looked quite outstanding. The Tigers picked him up, and he has shown in his short career so far that he is a goal kicker.
Yeah, he's very skillful, KB. Very rarely misses, and a good technique.
Can't kick it much better than that. Tawney sitting down. Well, Richmond kicked the first goal of this last quarter but needed to go on with it, but they allowed Carlton to kick the next 3. And that effectively spelt their doom. Hume out of the middle. Favola sandwiched between two defenders. Bitterscombe the mark. Something to live up to with Favola. Number 25, Jezza's number. Bitterscombe towards the outer side to Dragicevic, who just kicked the last goal. Fumbles the mark, but will push. Free kick. McKay not too happy. Andy McKay, big day. 24 possessions, 5 marks. Dragicevic up to Bitterscombe. Everyone pushing forward now. To the 50, Kellaway caught behind. Koutafidis might have taken that mark, but it's built to Manton. Now Lappin, and they're on the rebound now. Favola left half forward for the Blues. 6 minutes remaining at the MCG. Ratton, 6 last week, nothing today, and still nothing today. Well, it's something, it's 1 point.
Well, he sort of kicked that from a standing start and didn't give himself any momentum. Brett Ratton.
Just saw there Hamill sitting on the bench with something around his shoulders. I'm not too sure what he's had ice on or what was going on there.
Yeah, just by 50 points.
Just got a knock, Jimmy. There's nothing too bad about it.
Chaffee has been a handy player for the Tigers today. Looks like he's an improver coming off a good game against Sydney. The ball trickles over for a boundary throw-in. 18-11, 119 to 10-9, 69. The Blues well in control. 63,149 fans to see this great traditional clash between the Tigers and the Blues.
The Tigers are going to have to do some work now over the next 7 days to get themselves a few options up forward.
Broderick. Intercepted by Backwell, who's quick. Looks like he's got a future as well. Hickmott to Beaumont. Runs hard through the centre square. Again, support. Hickmott, he'll go short to Lappin. And Lappin will be lining up from 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
A bit worse than that, Jim, because it's only 6 days they play on the Sunday, so these long weekends might be okay leading up, but it gives you a short week the next week.
Yeah, well, particularly when you look at Essendon, they've had something like a 9-10 day break. It's a long time to wait for a big game, particularly if you were playing your first game.
Oh.
Well, they've had 12 individual goal kickers, and if Lappin kicks this, it'll make 13. He's pushed it right. So they've really shared the ball around today, the Blues, and it's so important if you're going to, be a good side that you don't just rely on the one player. And we know that Whitnall's been fantastic in recent weeks. He's been held today by Gaspar. But, bobbing in Hamill with his couple of goals. Favola's come off the bench for 3. Scotty Freeborn's chipped in for his first 2 goals in AFL football. And Franchina, probably not a noted goal kicker, with another couple of goals. So they've got some good stuff from a lot of players today. And this man, along with Koutafidis, well, it's been unstoppable.
Yeah. Well, Whitnall today only 14 marks. And a few weeks ago against Essendon, he took nearly 20. Well, it was 20, wasn't it? Lappin. Centering ball. Richmond get back in numbers. They'd want to take the mark. They haven't. Houghton's hand pass. Favola, that was almost magnificently sensational, if there is such an expression, but it went straight across the face of goal.
Reminded me of trying to do an Alan Jakovic.
It was the outside of the foot over the head bicycle kick. That's not bad with an oval ball. I wouldn't mind seeing it again, as a matter of fact.
David Beckham would have been very happy with this one. We see this a lot in soccer.
Well, if that had gone through, you just put down your glasses for goal of the year. It's all over.
Bounty throwing on centre wing. Ottens has lowered his colours today to Silvani. Ratton still squeezing the ball out to Fletcher. Backwell, young man with pace. Fletcher runs on hard to Hume. To 50. It's a centering kick for Vola. Was he dragged down? No free kick. Works hard for the ball. Tries to keep it alive. Houghton had it and lost it. Camperelli. Sure hands, just weaves his way out of trouble. Did a bit of the hippy shake. Taken away by Gaspar. Pumps the ball back. Backwell has pounced on it into the pocket. Came off hands. No, out on the full.
Well, it's been interesting this quarter. Carlton have been inside 50-14 to Richmond's 5. It's probably poor way to finish the game for Richmond.
King to a big pack of players. Gale went down. Kellaway burrowing for the ball, always on his 4s, tough in the clinches. It's a pat on the back from Chaffee.
Yeah, Jimmy, just halfway through the third quarter, they've just turned in a bit of a rubble, Richmond.
Yeah. Definitely some concerns there for Danny Frawley.
Oh, you'd be happy with the way they went for 2.5 quarters. It's just those couple of things in the third quarter they've got to work on, but build some confidence. They really did have a go.
Well, at the moment they got to within 3 points in the third quarter, the momentum was all with them. And it wouldn't have been absolutely stupid money to have it on Richmond at that stage.
Well, you couldn't really tell. We were talking about it here at quarter time. They're pretty evenly matched, even though they hadn't scored any goals, but they were certainly getting shots on goal.
Well, Carlton have kicked 3 goals to 2 in the last quarter, so the match has meandered to a finish, really hasn't gone anywhere. Bowden's hand pass a bit high and a bit slick for Daffy.
It's like we're a football here.
Chain of handballs by the Blues. Beaumont eventually to Allen. To the forward line for Vola. Gets to the back. Gaspar. Oh.
Touch of the fumbles. But great work by Carlton midfield. You've got to keep getting numbers to the ball all the time to create a contest, just to create an error, just to keep harassing Silvani coming off for a bit of a breather. And they did it very well. If you get enough numbers to the ball, you can force, you know, a poor handball or a poor kick. And then, of course, on the rebound, you can do some damage. Koutafidis for Vola. Really a fresh air shot. Did get his boot to the ball. Ratton does well on hands and knees. Nearly got it out to Lappin. Short hands. Chaffee, proving player for the Tigers, back to the front edge of the centre square. Tivendale wants to feed it off. He looks for Harrison. Chaffee runs hard. He's been decked. Ball's gone out wide. There's no free kick down the field. It's been marked by Ottens.
Oh, and Chaffee was decked right on his coccyx. You don't need that at this stage of the game. Back into the centre square. Daffy, that's nearly holding the ball on fire. Bowden. Tivendale. Round in a bit of a circle to Harrison. Up to the forward line. Ottens give us a chance. Off hands to Knights. Slickly back to Rogers. Didn't give it enough. Manton takes the mark. In the last minute at the MCG.
It's been solid, Manton.
That's a good kick.
Oh, that's a terrific kick, isn't it? It pierced the atmosphere. Backwell, lively. Oh, it's a disappointing kick. And Gaspar takes the mark.
And Koutafidis out here on his own.
So Kellaway, Andrew, brings it towards the smoker stand side. Up to Rogers. Still plenty of running. But the side can't afford to do without Richardson, Campbell, Cameron, and then lose Burke in the first quarter. Beaten in the ruck. Backline superb by the Blues. Richmond couldn't penetrate it. Here's the first gamer, and he'll be pleased. Oh, just a bit of a slip. Bit of dew gathering now late in the day, maybe. Sampson along the boundary line. Holland. And the siren signals the end. Just as the towel comes out for Biddiscombe. Congratulations, David Parkin. 500 games, and you are a winner. And a big winner too by the end. 18-12 to 10 goals 9. 51-point margin. And the strains of We Are the Navy Blue. Now, Stephen Silvani wants to get the ball, I'm sure, to give to David Parkin. And I reckon the umpire, Mark McKenzie, has said, leave it with us. We'll see it's right after the game.
Yeah, and I'm sure he will get it. It happens plenty of times. But Parkin now joins a very elite crew in Jock McHale, Alan Jeans, Tom Hafey and Ron Barassi. It's 5 coaches who've all coached 500 games. And what a way to make that milestone. What a huge win here in front of 63,000 people at the MCG. Be a memorable occasion, I'm sure.
Well, the skipper finished the game on the bench. Here he is with Couchy.
Brad, it was a great team effort by the boys.
It was an excellent team effort today. Just took 4 quarters to overrun them, and it was great.
How much motivation was David Parkin's 500th coaching game?
Plenty of motivation. We spoke about it before the game. 500's a truckload of games, so it's great for him. It's a great effort, and you know, it places him right up there.
Yeah, good thing, 12 individual goal kickers today.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we locked in on them right across the board, and it was a, you know, it was a good team effort. It was pretty close. It was great to break away in the second half.
And Koutafidis was sensational on the ball.
Koutafidis, he was sensational, and McKay and Silvani, the list goes on. They were great today.
Yeah, Whitnell was a bit quiet. Gaspar did a great job on him.
Oh, look, Gaspar did a great job, but I thought Witts did a great job too. You know, it's not all about just dominating. Witters kept at it, and in the second half he got some good balls, so it was a good tussle. Well done, Braddles. Thanks, mate.
And well done, Couchy. It sure is a truckload of games, 500. You know, you just remember the games where Stephen Silvani played his 200th, and when Craig Bradley played his 300, the Blues win those. They just make it a tradition at the club.
And I noticed Adrian Gallagher in the coach's box there just clapping when the siren went, because being a great player for Carlton, he would have really enjoyed the Blues winning over the Tigers today, because it comes from that great era where the Tigers and the Blues played a number of grand finals together. They were great rivals, and I'm certain that Carlton will enjoy their victory tonight. There's Wayne Campbell, badly needed in the Tigers side. It's a good point that you made earlier, Drew. Without Matthew Richardson and Campbell and Leon Cameron, and they lost David Burke early, they're not strong enough at the moment to lose 3 or 4 good players and maintain the pressure on an opposition which has got a lot of talent in its side, Carlton, in terms of veterans and also some of their younger players. So a bit undermanned today, the Tigers.
Yeah, definitely. When you lose key players like that, you've got to replace them with someone else. You've got to change the structure. And they just didn't have a target to kick to when they were going forward. They were hoping their smaller players would have not probably bobbed up, and they did for first probably 2.5 quarters. But then they just fell away. They just didn't have the legs to keep getting in there. And eventually, Carlton, I think, just a bit of fitness as well, and obviously experience, and they just ran a ragged.
Yeah, and early on, when Gale had to go down the ground to follow Allen, a couple of times Burke went in and contested in the ruck, and he was going to be their pinch hitter in there, and 2 minutes later, that's when he did his thigh. So, gee, really unbalanced.
Well, I'm sure it'll be
a bit of form now, the Blues. So they were terrific last week against Port Adelaide. Had a huge win. And, of course, today they buried the Tigers again by 51 points. So from a percentage point of view, very handy for Carlton. They've won 4 from 7 now.
Yeah, the breathing on the heels of Melbourne, I think the only thing that separates them is percentage now.
And it buries a little bogey too. Carlton away from Optus Oval. You know, so far they'd won 3 out of 3 at home, lost 3 out of 3 away. So they turned it around today.
And then they got Sydney next week at Optus Oval, so good chance of another win.
We are the Navy Blues. We are the old black Navy Blues. We're the team that never let you down. We're the only team of Carlton knows. We're all the champions. They like to send us. We'll keep your hands up. And I know that they've been playing against the famous old dark blues.
A very happy camp in there, and a very happy David Parkin. Well done, Parko. It is a long innings, a truckload of games, as Craig Bradley said. And Carlton eventually won 18-12, 120 to the Tigers 10-9, 69 in front of 63,000.